Hello there, welcome back to some more Final Fantasy 15. In the last episode, what we did was finished episode Arden. At the end of the last episode, you might have seen I put the A+ score on. I'm just going to show you it again. Here it is. Everything was great except damage incurred, which was B, and even getting that was hard to do. I did about 3 runs where I got 32,000, which is a C. And the way to get an A+ is you can get all A+ and 1 B, or all A+ and 2 A's. And then you get absolutely astounding. I don't think there's a higher rank than A+, although there might be an S if you get all A+. I only wanted an A, but then realised that I could get... See here, I got a C there. Because it's 38,000. 30,000 is the cap. And then I got 32,000. And that's when I knew, because it was not a particularly good run, that I could get better. So what I did was I went back and replayed the last 2 boss fights with damage reducing potions. And that meant that I could do it. And I did it on normal rather than doing it on easy, which is what everyone said to do. So I felt a little bit achieved. Anyway, there's a few things we have to do. I want to do this one. Because not only is there a hat I didn't buy, and I'll show you where to get it, but the data logs I have to read because I never read them. And then we'll do Kingly Clash. And that will hopefully be the end of episode Arden. Before we go back to the main game and see what we unlocked. Some cool shit. Spell blades I haven't put on. Ignis. Some kind of sword. But we'll have a look. Okay, so there's a royal crown, first of all. We get this royal crown from this shop here, which is the secret shop. You have to unlock all of the sectors to see it. It's behind this building here. What clued me in was that there was a shop here, but also a shop here. It sells the royal crown for like 100,000 yen. But anyway, that's not what we're here for. We're here for the archives. Right, let's read them all. Chief of Scythia's Journal Demons. This is 716-4 9th. I was but a boy when I first saw my first demon, a wild canine run afoul of the Plasmodia. The fear that should have consumed me was itself engulfed by an intense excitement, much like the dark miasma that spreads across the land and blots out any trace of light or life. Some might deem me a madman, vilifying me for researching a wicked plague that brings naught but death. However, be it the magic technology of old or the demons of our day, understanding that which we fear is a vital step toward enlightenment. The plague that ravaged our star centuries ago died out for a time, with it went all knowledge of the monsters it spawned, yet since the discovery of a mutant strain of Plasmodia here in our very soil, the ominous word as we entered our lexicon, demon. What caused this scourge to resurge? I hypothesized that it began with the rise of our population that began in the latter half of this millennium. While the adoption of advanced technology has vastly improved life for citizens across the Empire, the territorial expansion it enabled may also have reactivated Plasmodia that remained dormant for many years. If so, then the true spread of the Star Scourge may have only just begun. Although I have long dismissed it as some foolish fairy tale, the recent discovery of an ancient text tucked away in one of the kingdom's royal tombs has convinced me. Adagium is real. According to the term, this inhuman entity born of the darkness has lived in the shadows of Angelgard for some 2 millennia. Perhaps the Lucians feared its supposed superhuman strength and potential for destruction. Yet, to let such power go untapped would be incredibly wasteful. The military may have scoffed at us researchers for the lack of tangible progress in our Magitech infantry and demonic studies. But if we harvest this immortal monster and harness the secrets it holds, we may indeed last. Acting on a tip we received from a friend in the private sector, we have sent an excavatory expedition to the top of the Rock of Avato. Unlike the irremovable Archean at the Disc of Corthus, the body of the Infernian should be unobstructed and ready for transport, assuming our team can reach the peak, that is. Legends say the Infernian bestowed the gift of fire upon mankind in antiquity, and this burning wisdom helped forge the foundation of what became the civilization of Solheim. And now, with the fabled flame within my grasp, I take my first step toward divinity. 'Tis a wondrous day indeed. Of all the gods above, least is known about the Draconian. Neither a tutelary deity nor a regular fixture in written records, the Blade Keeper has left behind nary a trace save for his name. Some legends suggest he selected king to lead Lucis and bestowed upon the chosen one the fabled ring and crystal. In my opinion, it all sounds like the type of tall tale the royal family might concoct to justify their hold on power, but perhaps we can explore the matter in more depth by paying a visit to Lucian's confidants in Tenebrae. I've made a discovery both startling and astounding. A monster known as Adagium is none other than Arden Lucis Calum, older brother to the founder king of Lucis. Words cannot describe the sense of elation that enveloped me, knowing I was able to converse with the creature who has lived for hundreds of years. His powers do not cease to amaze. Not only can he absorb the demonic miasma into his body, but he can pass the plague on to others as well. He also claims to have gained a glimpse into their psyche when doing so, relived their memories, so to speak. If this is true, then it would seem the man has been blessed with both eternal life and unlimited wisdom. He's practically a god in his own right. The Lucian soldiers' reliance on their monarch's magic is nothing new, nor do I expect the armed forces to switch up their strategy in the near future. It thus stands to reason that we ought to devise a plan to inhabit their abilities by whatever means necessary. Excuse me. I've given much thought to the idea of suppressing Lucian's magic, and while it may be some time until we have a working prototype, I believe we should have a fully functioning jamming device added to our Magitech arsenal before long. Further combat data would certainly help speed along the development process, especially data related to the Divine. What a thrill it would be to take down a god using the form of one of their helpers. The team were dispatched to Telpar Crag as returned with a fascinating report. Their landing craft came into assault by a flying dragon as soon as they entered the valley. Hearing their story, I could not help but recall a passage I once read about the legendary Blade Master which stated he guarded the Founder King with his glaive in hand and his dragon at his side. This would mean that the creature they encountered has been guarding that gorge for nearly 2 millennia, and if one of these Lucian legends has proven true, then perhaps the kingdom's fairy tales are more than mere rumours after all, even the whispers about the Undying. While few written records referencing the divine host of messengers remain, our exploratory expedition to Telpar Crags covered some interesting information via word of mouth while investigating the surrounding area. Based on what we've heard, the demigods fought alongside the deities they served in the War of the Astrals, with the followers of the traitor Infernian being all erased from the annals. All but erased is probably how they should have wrote it. From the annals of history, after suffering defeat at the hands of the other gods. Little less known about the messengers, but I'm determined to discover more about their fascinating creatures. Rakshasa Blade. A sword that stayed at Ardenside for roughly 2,000 years, flying forth at his command. One half of a pair, the Rakshasa Blade is forged alongside the Blade of the Mystic, beloved blade of Arden's younger brother, Somnus Lucis Calum. Both blades possess different properties, wielding a devastating destructive arsenal when wielded together. While one can assume both swords were imbued with the hope that the brothers of Calum would rule in tandem, envy and ambition ultimately tore the two apart. The Prophecy. A painting of unknown authorship that depicts the legends foretold in the cosmogony, and then passed down through the Lucian royal family. The composition features a man known as a chosen king who, by the grace of a beautiful goddess, purges the world of its scourge and restores the light of peace. Demon model. A model that Chief Pasithia made by pouring plaster into a demon-shaped cavity. Or demon. One likely formed when a demon got trapped in a mudslide and ultimately sublimated after the earth had hardened around its body. The creature has been replicated with frightening accuracy. It's a resemblance of so uncanny that one might easily mistake this creation for the real thing. Sunlight Irradiator. A laboratory designed to replicate natural sunlight and study its effects on demonkind. Chief Pasithia discovered that, although Adagio incurs slight injuries when exposed to the sun, his regenerative abilities quickly negate any damage done. Angel Guard. An island situated off the southeastern coast of the Lucian mainland and said to bear some connection to the storm god Ramur, or Vemu. Commoners were forbidden to set foot on the Isle, a rule that the royal family enforced all their might, which nevertheless proved no match for Teeth Pasithia. In ME721, he freed Arden from his stone cell and escorted him back to his laboratory on the outskirts of Gallia. The following year, the former prisoner was renamed Arden Azunia and branded an imperial citizen. A diorama of the world created by Chief Pasithia. This model offers a bird's eye view of both imperial territories as well as lands the Empire has yet to acquire. The Eos world map diorama. Somnus Lucis Calum. Arden's younger brother and the founder king of Lucis, Somnus is the ancestor of the present-day monarch Regis. Fueled by envy of his brother's blessed abilities, he fanned the flames of revolt by branding armed a monster, ultimately taking the throne for himself. Yet historical records tell a vastly different tale, one in which Somnus joined hands with the Oracle to travel the world and dispel the darkness that plagued our star. Instead of being exposed to the usurper he was, Somnus was posthumously dubbed the Mystic for his mesmerizing feats of the field of battle, and immortalized in the form of an enormous statue watching over the crown city. Era Minas Fleuret. Fiancé to Arden and ancestor of the House Fleuret. Era was chosen by Bahamut to serve as the first oracle. Blessed by the power to commune with the divine, she travelled the world with her trident in hand, sharing the grace of the gods of mankind wherever she went. Ifrit the Infernian. Let's move this all the way down so I can see where I am. One of the 6 gods that form the Hexathian. Ifrit serves as the patron deity of fire, although he once bestowed his burning wisdom upon mankind, the people's hubris inspired them to bite the flaming hand that fed them, launching a revolt that proved the catalyst to the War of the Astrals. In the end, the fire burner proved powerless before the Bladekeeper's glaive and was laid asunder atop the rock of Avatar, where he has slumbered ever since. The Crown's Guard. Members of a defence force that traces its roots back to the Lucian army of old, unlike the Crown City Police that protect Insomnia, the border patrol that keep the peace in the Perilius. The combat-ready Crown's Guard acts as a special forces unit tasked with fending off outsiders who have found their way inside the wall. Pravus Amicitia was serving as captain at the time of Arden's initial assault on Insomnia. These reinforced cars boast bulletproof plating and a heat-resistant coating, allowing them to serve as barricades for Crown City Police duking it out with evildoers. The various customizations are quite costly though, so the top brass are loath to lose any of these AFVs. In recent years, the King's Glaive have repurposed similar vehicles to transport supplies and personnel to and from the battlefield. Royal Guard Katanas. Predecessors of the King's Glaive, these special agents report directly to the royal family and serve as their security detail. They operate in groups of 4 or 5, named after the captain who leads them, with the Nimbus and Cumni squads standing as 2 particularly exemplary units. The soldier pictured here wields a long blade imbued with the King's magical powers. The soldier pictured here wields a lance imbued with the King's magical powers. The soldier pictured here wields a pair of short blades imbued with the King's magical powers. And the soldier pictured here wields a bow imbued with the King's magical powers. The Fierce Guardians. These mass-produced stone statues are created to protect the wall amplifiers positioned around the Crown City. This particular model is fashioned after the Fierce, a famed Lucian monarch, and a fixture in the old wall. Rumours suggest the spirits of the rulers of yore resided in these figures, determined to destroy any who would wish harm upon the kingdom or her people. And the Rogue Guardians. Particular model fashioned after the Rogue, famed Lucian monarch, fixture in the old wall. Yeah, okay, the old wall, the Mystic. This enormous stone statue houses the soul of Somnus Lucis Caleb, founder king of Lucis. Though usually dormant, this effigy will awaken from its slumber should the kingdom fall into peril. No such emergencies have arisen in the 2 millennia that Somnus has watched over the kingdom, until now. Jumbotron. These enormous monitors were installed on buildings facing the main thoroughfare leading toward the Citadel. Although they normally show news and advertisements, the Founders' Day committee intended to use them to broadcast various aspects of the festival. An expensive piece of equipment utilizing cutting-edge kingdom technology. These screens would cost a small fortune to repair if broken. The statue. These statues of the first king of Lucis enjoy prominent positions in the Citadel Plaza, long venerated as embodiments of the nation's rich history. These particular effigies are only put on display for festivals and other ceremonial events. One can only imagine what enormous financial and cultural loss the kingdom would suffer if one of these statues were destroyed. Flagpole. These signposts are erected to help celebrate the Founders' Day festival. The elegant blue and gold banners proudly bear the crest of the kingdom and add a splash of colour to the Crown City streets. While easily replaced, these poles could damage other buildings if toppled, which might in turn necessitate costly repairs. Balloon. These small balloons were produced for the Founders' Day festival and strung up throughout the city to add an air of fun and whimsy to the festivities. The committee ordered quite a large quantity of them, so probably 1 or 2 wouldn't amount to much of a financial loss. The big balloon. These large balloons produced for the Founders' Day festival strung up atop tall buildings are beautiful orbs of royal blue floating in the sky. They take a bit more effort to inflate than their smaller counterparts, so popping one would mean more of a financial loss for the city. A pillar. These decorative displays were prepared exclusively for the Founders' Day festival and lined up along Crown City streets to welcome visitors from far and wide, seeing as they would require considerable effort to erect. Destroying them could prove quite costly for the kingdom. A signboard. These elegant boards were prepared for the Founders' Day festival and set up among streets where the king and other persons of importance are scheduled to pass during the parade. Removal of a fallen signboard could prove quite costly, especially if it were to block the procession. Billboard. The enormous structures were prepared for Founders' Day festival and erected along streets where the king and other persons of importance are scheduled to pass during the parade. The committee spent a considerable amount of money putting these installations together, and the kingdom would incur quite a financial loss if one were destroyed. And loudspeakers, a small array of audio amplifiers installed to broadcast news to the people of the Crown City. The committee produced a slew of additional speakers to play lively music during the festival, so losing a few of them would not amount to much of a financial loss for the kingdom. Okay, so 12 minutes later I can actually play some video games. But there you go, I said I'd read them all, and I have read them all. I'm not that comfortable reading off of text. Because of bad experiences in school when we had to do like public reading. And I just read too fast, even out loud. So people were like, can you slow down? And I can't, because if I slow down, I have to start reading like this, and it seems really stilted and not good. And it takes a lot of energy. So I just didn't. Spy against the Chosen King experience the true thrill of combat. Yes. I hope it isn't too hard. But if it is, you're only going to see the winning run anyway, so I'll see you when that happens. Having turned the Empire to shambles and tried the world of darkness, I didn't know erstwhile that hero of those who hailed, now such solution flown denied by the crystal some 2 millennia ago. See you when we win. Goodbye. Then I need to do it again, but use my elixirs, yes, more powerfully. My time was good, but my dying was bad. And my damage incurred is okay. And my combo's bad. But I didn't know I had to get those things. Contender of Kismet. Right, so let me find out what I need to get points-wise for Kingly Clash. Okay, so I got an A. Antagonist of Fate. But I can get an A+ if I just don't go down. You better believe I'm going to try. What I don't know is how to avoid Noctis's bullshit. I have no idea. So I'm going to try one more time. Let's do it.
The once helpless and hapless prince. Is he now ready to claim his crown? Don't let us down. Let the games begin.
No. Now they end.
10 years you spent accumulating your power. I spent assimilating demons and accumulating mine. A king in name alone. I'm truly disappointed. Can't you do any better than that? 10 years and nothing to show for it. Behold, O king, this realm in darkness, this land of demons. Even with the dawn to break now, it would only bring the horrors to light. You should all thank me. In the dark, you would know peace. You think 10 years is a long time? It is nothing to me. I have lived in darkness for ages.
There you go. All A stars or A pluses and an A. Accomplished anti-hero. Only because I went down. I still don't know how to dodge Noctis's royal arms, but I did everything else. Ho, 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 ho. Thanks for the A plus rank, baby. And my prize? Nothing. But that's just how it should be. Right. I'll see you guys next time when we go back to the main world. What is this nonsense going back to the main world and doing more things? See you then. Goodbye.